Hey guys, I just wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you a little bit about something I'm very passionate about, and that's colorectal screening. As many of you guys already know, that March is our colorectal screening is the measure of the month. And I just wanted to kind of go over, one, what drives me behind this measure, but also what tools that we have available and some strategies. First off, as many of you already know, that I lost my father due to colorectal cancer on May 15th. He actually had an abnormal finding 5 years earlier, but he kind of slipped through the cracks, and later on when it was discovered it was stage 4. So it's always been a passion of mine to kind of get this out there and let people know that this is something that is kind of preventable if we detect it early enough and we do routine screens. I actually just had a very interesting call with a site that we were working with this morning. About 2 weeks ago, we went to this site, and one of the clinical information coordinators worked with me to install clinical reminders, and one of those reminders was colorectal screening. Little unbeknownst to this CAC, one of the first patients to come through was actually a family member. That family member came in for an ear infection, earache, and then later they said, "Hey, I noticed that you're due for your colorectal screening. Would you like us to proceed with this?" Well, that had an abnormal finding. Later on, a biopsy revealed that this was an abnormal finding, and now that person is moving forward, taking steps. So that is a patient who did not slip through the cracks, and little did that CAC know that they would actually be installing the reminder that was going to catch one of their very own patients, their family members coming through. So these aren't just numbers, these are actual human beings, and that's what we really want to stress here. So I'm going to go basically into kind of show real quickly kind of what it would look like if you were in an RPMS EHR kind of environment. So we have these real beautiful things called clinical reminders, so you can go into a note and you can just go ahead and type and do your average thing, but by installing these things up here, these are clinical reminders, and they're telling you exactly what the patient is due for. So that patient, again, might be coming in for an earache or a sprained ankle, but you're seeing that they're due for something else, and you have the opportunity right then and there to offer the screen. So here is kind of what the colorectal cancer screening reminder looks like. If I kind of pull this up a little bit, you can kind of see we have quite a bit of options. We can do a fecal test, colonoscopy, order a referral. We can do educations for the patient on the importance of it. We can also enter historical information, such as the patient maybe already had one at A&MC. We can look up these results and actually enter them in there. So I can kind of click on some of these just to give you an example of kind of how they show up and what they look like. So here is the historical one. We can say when it happened. Let's say it happened February the 3rd, 2014. Location. We can pick, let's do Alaska, and then we can pick Alaska Native Medical Center, and results normal, negative. We can also do educations from here. So here would be an education. Really the point of this is just to show you the power that we literally have the tools right now to see what a patient is due for and enter that information. So that's an example of the clinical reminder working. But there's also some other things I would really like to kind of demonstrate here, and one of those is we can now go into, let's say RPMS, or utilizing tools such as iCare, is identify exactly where we're at as a population, but also who is due for this kind of stuff. So imagine your EHR as a tool that helps you take care of the patients that are coming through your doors, doing the chart review for you. Now imagine what would you use to identify the patients that aren't coming through your doors. So here we're going to go, I'm going to go up hat to my clinical reporting system, CRS. I'm going to go into number 8, and I'm going to run a report. And here I am going to go ahead and I'm going to run a local, or no, let's do this. Let's go run national. And this is going to give me an option for a list. I can run lists of patients. So I'm going to go LST for list. And I'm just going to enter a couple times, and then I'm going to go right down here and search for 15. So let's just do 15 for now. Select 15, quit, and then I'm going to say no CRC screening. So I'm going to go 2. I'm going to go for all patients. I'm going to look at this skipper year, 2014. I'm going to run it against 2012, and I'm going to pick my communities. And what this will actually do is return a list to me of all the patients that, according to this skipper year, have not had a colonoscopy. And that's exactly what we want to do. We want to identify these patients, go out and case manage them, and get them in. So here's just some basic quick strategies utilizing your EHR by deploying electronic clinical reminder and by utilizing your clinical reporting systems to really go out and identify those people. If you're a little bit more advanced and you guys have eye care on your systems, you could actually use eye care and do searches on that realm to find out who is due. So, and if you do that correctly, what you'll end up seeing is something that kind of looks a little bit more, see if I can drag this over, like this. So here's an example of Aleutian Privat Violence Association. They started out in 2011 at screening at 10%. As time went on, they basically upped their screening rates to 30% the next year and moved it all the way up. I think they're close to about 70% right now. Within that, you're having abnormal findings. So basically, you're screening, increasing your screening rates on your population, and because of that, you're getting abnormal findings, which means you're getting early detections. And you start to get an idea of how to manage those problem lists. Finally, you can do really simple, quick, right now, off the bat kind of things. So here's an example of we have to do a patient satisfaction survey, and we do a new one every month, and we just include the measure of the month into this. So here's an example of our March one. They're working on it right now. We're running it by as a rough draft, but we're basically asking, including this measure into the survey itself. So do you know the risk of CRC? Do you know what age you should start screening? So this is really a tool for engaging the patient and the provider in an open dialogue to kind of talk about and bring this forward. And then we basically ask them, how are you feeling? And this is the IPC question, if they're getting the care they need, when they want, and where they want, by who they want. So you can incorporate this right now immediately into your clinic. So just get the conversation going. So hopefully these tools help you. And that's exactly what I'm really trying to stress here is currently into today, we have the tools to kind of turn this around, whereas before we never really had them. So God bless and hope it all is well, and hope this is helpful for you guys. Thank you.